The Galactic Academy. The gleaming spires of the Galactic Academy pierce the lavender sky of Centauri Prime, a testament to the advanced civilizations that called this corner of the universe home. Among the throngs of diverse alien species bustling through the grand entrance hall, one figure stood out, not for her exotic appearance, but for her distinct lack thereof. Zara Chen, Earth's first exchange student to the Academy, clutched her datapad tightly as she tried to make sense of the holographic map floating before her. The 22-year-old astrophysics prodigy from Shanghai felt overwhelmed by the sheer alienness of her surroundings. Beings with multiple limbs, bioluminescent skin, and even sun that seemed to phase in and out of visible reality brushed past her, engrossed in their own academic pursuits. "Greetings, Terran. You appear to be in need of directional assistance," a melodious voice chimed from behind her. Zara turned to find herself face to face, or rather, face to midsection, with a towering avian-like creature. Its iridescent feathers shimmered with each movement, and intelligent eyes peered down at her from an elegantly curved beak. "Oh, yes," Zara stammered, her universal translator working overtime. "I'm trying to find the xenobiology lecture hall for Professor Xylith's class." The alien tilted its head, reminding Zara of an oversized, otherworldly peacock. "Ah, a fellow first-cycle student. I am Crix of the Etherian flock, also enrolled in that particular educational module. Perhaps we could navigate the Academy's labyrinthine structure together." Zara nodded gratefully, falling into step beside her new acquaintance. As they walked, Crix's melodious voice filled the air with questions about Earth and human culture. Zara found herself relaxing, realizing that beneath the exotic exterior, students were students across the galaxy. Their arrival at the lecture hall was met with curious stares and whispered conversations in a cacophony of alien languages. Zara felt her cheeks flush, painfully aware of how different she must appear to her classmates. She and Crix found seats near the back, settling in just as a shimmering hologram materialized at the front of the vast amphitheater. Professor Xylith, it turned out, was a being composed entirely of swirling, bioluminescent gases contained within a transparent, humanoid-shaped force field. Its voice reverberated through the chamber, sounding like wind chimes in a summer breeze. "Welcome, aspiring xenobiologists, to your first lesson in galactic biodiversity," the professor began. "Today, we have a unique opportunity. For the first time in the Academy's history, we have a representative of a newly discovered sentient species among us." All eyes turned to Zara, who wished she could sink into the seat and disappear. "Zara Chen of Earth, would you please join me at the front?" On shaky legs, Zara made her way down to the holographic podium. Professor Xylith's gaseous form swirled excitedly. "Class, observe the bipedal structure, the integrated sensory organs, the protective epidermal layer. Truly fascinating. Now, Zara, perhaps you could enlighten us on some unique aspects of human biology." Zara swallowed hard, her mind racing. What could she possibly say that would impress this gathering of advanced beings? Then, a memory from her grandfather flickered through her mind, a story of human perseverance that had always inspired her. "Well," she began, her voice gaining strength, "humans are known for our endurance. We evolved as persistence hunters, capable of running prey to exhaustion over long distances. This adaptation has led to some remarkable feats." She paused, noticing the ripple of interest through the alien audience. Encouraged, Zara continued, "For example, there's an ultramarathon on Earth called the Barkley Marathons. It's considered one of the toughest endurance tests in our world. Participants must complete 5 loops of about 20 miles each through challenging terrain, all within 60 hours. The elevation change is equivalent to climbing and descending Mount Everest twice." A murmur of disbelief swept through the lecture hall. Professor Xylith's gaseous form swirled faster. "Fascinating, and humans voluntarily subject themselves to such physical ordeals." Zara nodded, a hint of pride creeping into her voice. "Yes, and not just a few. Thousands apply each year, though only about 40 are selected to compete. In the race's history of over 30 years, only 15 people have ever finished it. The class erupted in a cacophony of alien exclamations and questions. Zara found herself fielding inquiries about human physiology, the limits of our endurance, and the psychological drive behind such challenges. As she spoke, she realized that what seemed ordinary to her was extraordinary to these advanced beings. Professor Xylith's voice cut through the excited chatter. This is precisely why the study of xenobiology is so crucial, students. Each species, no matter how seemingly primitive or advanced, has evolved remarkable adaptations. The human capacity for endurance, both physical and mental, is clearly a trait worthy of further study. As Zara returned to her seat, she felt a newfound sense of confidence. Crix leaned over, feathers quivering with excitement. "That was most illuminating, Zara of Earth. I had no idea your species possessed such formidable attributes." The rest of the lecture passed in a blur of holographic displays showcasing the vast diversity of life forms across the galaxy. Zara's mind whirled with new information, from silicon-based life forms to creatures that existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions. As the class dispersed, Professor Xylith's shimmering form approached Zara. "Your contribution today was invaluable, young human. I sense great potential in you. The Academy has high hopes for what your species can bring to our galactic community." Zara beamed with pride, but her elation was short-lived. A group of alien students blocked her path as she tried to leave the lecture hall. Their leader, a hulking reptilian being with gleaming scales, loomed over her. "So, the primitive Terran thinks she can compete at the Academy," it hissed, forked tongue flicking menacingly. "Your quaint tales of endurance mean nothing here. True intelligence is measured by one's mastery of the cosmos." Crix stepped forward, feathers bristling. "That is quite enough, Zexkar. The human has as much right to be here as any of us." The reptilian, Zexkar, laughed coldly. "We shall see. The trials of ascension approach, little human. Let's see how your endurance fares against real challenges." As the group slithered away, Zara turned to Crix, confusion etched on her face. The trials of ascension. Crix's avian features looked grim. A series of tests all first-cycle students must face to prove their worth to continue at the Academy. They are notoriously difficult. Zara felt a knot form in her stomach. She had come to the Galactic Academy to learn, to represent Earth, and to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. Now, it seemed, that dream would be put to the ultimate test. As they left the lecture hall, the vastness of the alien campus sprawled before them. Zara squared her shoulders, determination setting in. Whatever these trials might be, she would face them head-on. For herself, for Earth, and for the future of humanity among the stars. Little did Zara know that her presence at the Academy had set in motion events that would not only challenge her, but potentially reshape the balance of power in the galaxy itself. As she and Crix made their way to their next class, unseen eyes watched from the shadows, recognizing the human for what she truly was, a wild card in a cosmic game of unfathomable stakes. The adventures of Zara Chen, Earth's unlikely champion, were only just beginning, and the Galactic Academy would never be the same. Cultural clashes and unexpected allies. The weeks following Zara's first day at the Galactic Academy flew by in a whirlwind of lectures, practical exercises, and cultural misunderstandings. Each day brought new wonders and challenges as she navigated the complex social dynamics of her alien peers. One afternoon, Zara found herself in the Academy's vast hydroponics bay, a sprawling green oasis amidst the sleek, futuristic architecture. She was partnered with Crix and a gelatinous being named Bloop for a xenobotany project. As they catalogued the various alien plant species, Zara's stomach let out an embarrassingly loud growl. "Apologies," she mumbled, her cheeks flushing. "I missed lunch earlier." Crix's feathers ruffled in what Zara had come to recognize as amusement. "Fear not, friend Zara. I believe I have just the solution. The avian being reached into a pouch and produced what looked like a shimmering rainbow-hued fruit. "Ah, a celestial peach," Luke burbled excitedly, its gelatinous form rippling. "A delicacy from the floating orchards of Nebula 9. Zara accepted the fruit gratefully, its surface cool and slightly fuzzy against her palm. She took a cautious bite, and her eyes widened in amazement. The flavor was indescribable, a symphony of tastes that seemed to dance across her tongue, evoking memories of summer picnics and exotic tropical getaways. "This is incredible," she exclaimed, savoring each bite. "Thank you, Crix." As they continued their work, Zara found herself opening up to her alien companions. She told them about Earth's diverse ecosystems, from lush rainforests to stark deserts. Crix and Bloop listened with rapt attention, asking questions about everything from photosynthesis to pollination. "It seems your planet harbors great biodiversity," Crix observed. "Perhaps not so different from the grand tapestry of life we see across the galaxy." Zara nodded, a hint of pride in her voice. "Earth may be young compared to many worlds, but life there has proven incredibly resilient and adaptive." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion near the entrance to the hydroponics bay. A group of students had gathered, their voices raised in what sounded like an argument. At the center stood Zexkar, the reptilian who had confronted Zara after her first class. Curiosity piqued, Zara and her companions moved closer to investigate. They arrived just in time to hear Zexkar's sneering voice. "And that's why humans have no place here," the reptilian was saying. "They're barely out of their gravity well, and they think they can compete with species that have mastered interstellar travel. Pathetic." Anger flared in Zara's chest, but before she could respond, an unexpected voice cut through the tension. "And yet, despite their youth, humans have already demonstrated remarkable potential." The crowd parted to reveal Professor Xylith, its gaseous form swirling with what Zara interpreted as irritation. "Need I remind you, Zexkar, that the purpose of this academy is to foster understanding and cooperation between all sentient species, regardless of their level of technological advancement." Zexkar's scales flushed a deep crimson, but the reptilian held its ground. "With all due respect, Professor, some species are simply more worthy of our time and resources. The humans." "The humans," Xylith interrupted, "have already contributed valuable insights to our xenobiology department. Their unique perspective on evolution and adaptation has sparked several promising research projects." The professor's gaze swept over the assembled students. "Let this be a lesson to all of you. True wisdom lies not in the age of a civilization, but in its capacity for growth, empathy, and innovation. Dismiss the potential of any species at your own peril." As the crowd dispersed, murmuring amongst themselves, Zara felt a mix of gratitude and determination. She approached Professor Xylith, who acknowledged her with a gentle swirl of its gaseous tendrils. "Thank you, Professor," Zara said softly. "I won't let you down." Xylith's form shimmered. "See that you don't, young human. The eyes of the galaxy are upon you, whether you realize it or not. Now, I believe you have a project to complete." Zara nodded and rejoined Crix and Bloop, her mind racing with the implications of the professor's words. As they resumed their work, she couldn't shake the feeling that her presence at the academy was more significant than she had initially realized. Later that evening, Zara sat cross-legged on her bed in the dormitory, surrounded by holographic displays of her coursework. Her room, like everything at the academy, was a marvel of alien technology. The walls could shift color and opacity at her command, and a small anti-gravity field allowed her to arrange her belongings in three-dimensional space. A soft chime indicated an incoming communication. Zara tapped a nearby panel, and a holographic image of her parents materialized before her. "Mom, Dad," she exclaimed, her heart swelling with a mixture of joy and homesickness. "There's our little stargazer," her father said, his eyes crinkling with pride. "How are you holding up out there among the aliens?" Zara launched into an excited recounting of her experiences, from the mind-bending lectures to the diverse array of alien life forms she encountered daily. Her parents listened intently, their expressions a mix of amazement and concern. "It sounds wonderful, sweetheart," her mother said, "but are you sure you're safe? Some of those aliens sound, well, not very friendly." Zara's mind flashed to Zek's car and the confrontation in the hydroponics bay. "It's not all easy," she admitted, "but I'm making friends too. And the professors here are incredible. I'm learning so much, and I really feel like I'm making a difference for Earth." Her father nodded solemnly. "We're proud of you, Zara. Just remember, you're not just a student there. You're representing all of humanity. The connections you make, the impression you leave, it could shape our species' future in the galaxy." The weight of her father's words settled on Zara's shoulders, but instead of feeling burdened, she felt invigorated. She was here not just for herself, but for the future of Earth and humanity's place among the stars. After saying goodbye to her parents, Zara turned her attention back to her studies with renewed focus. The trials of ascension loomed on the horizon, and she was determined to prove that humanity deserved its place at the Galactic Academy. As she worked late into the night, poring over star charts and xenobiological data, Zara was unaware of the ripples her presence was creating throughout the Academy and beyond. In shadowy corners and secure communications channels, whispers spread of the human student who dared to challenge the galactic status quo. Some saw her as a threat to be eliminated. Others recognized a potential ally in the cosmic chess game of interstellar politics. And a select few dared to hope that this young human might be the key to unlocking ancient mysteries that had long puzzled even the most advanced civilizations. Little did Zara know that her greatest challenges and her true purpose at the Galactic Academy were yet to be revealed. As she finally drifted off to sleep, lulled by the soft hum of alien technology, the stars outside her window seemed to twinkle with anticipation of the adventures to come. In the depths of space, ancient forces stirred, awakened by the presence of a species long prophesied to tip the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity's trial by fire was about to begin, and Zara Chen would find herself at the heart of a cosmic storm that had been brewing for millennia. The stage was set for a clash of cultures, a test of wills, and a journey that would push Zara and her newfound allies to their very limits. The Galactic Academy was about to become the focal point of a struggle that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy itself. The Intergalactic Sports Tournament, the grand amphitheater of the Galactic Academy, buzzed with excitement. Holographic banners flickered overhead, displaying a dizzying array of alien scripts announcing the commencement of the annual Intergalactic Sports Tournament. Zara found herself swept along by the tide of students flooding into the massive arena, her heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. "Can you believe it, Zara?" Crix chirped, his iridescent feathers shimmering with excitement. "This tournament is legendary. Species from across the galaxy compete in tests of physical and mental prowess." Zara nodded, trying to take in the spectacle around her. The arena seemed to defy the laws of physics, with gravity-defying platforms, shimmering force fields, and what appeared to be pockets of alternate realities scattered throughout. "And humans have never participated before," she murmured, the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders once again. As they found their seats, a holographic projection materialized in the center of the arena. It coalesced into the form of Dean Zorix, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent exosuit. His voice boomed across the stadium, automatically translated for each species present. "Esteemed students and honored guests, welcome to the 10,000th Intergalactic Sports Tournament." Cheers erupted from the alien crowd. "This year, we are pleased to welcome representatives from Earth for the first time in our illustrious history." All eyes turned to Zara, who felt her cheeks flush under the scrutiny of countless alien gazes. Let the games begin, and may the most adaptable species emerge victorious. The first event was the Quantum Leap, a race through a series of rapidly shifting pocket dimensions. Zara watched in awe as competitors phased in and out of reality, their bodies stretching and contorting in ways that made her head spin. Fascinating, isn't it? A silky voice purred from beside her. Zara turned to find herself face to face with a feline-like creature, its fur a swirling pattern of starry nebulae. "I'm Lyra, by the way, cosmic physics major." "Zara," she replied, shaking the alien's pole-like appendage. "This is incredible. I've never seen anything like it." Lyra's whiskers twitched in amusement. "Of course you haven't, darling. Your species is still grappling with the concept of faster-than-light travel. But don't worry, you'll catch up, eventually." Before Zara could respond, a commotion near the arena's entrance caught her attention. A group of protesters had unfurled a holographic banner that read, "Humans out. Preserve galactic sea purity." Zara's heart sank, but she was surprised to see many alien students jeering at the protesters. Security drones quickly surrounded the group, escorting them out of the arena. "Ignore those xenophobic fools," Crick said, placing a comforting wing on Zara's shoulder. "They fear what they don't understand." The tournament continued, showcasing abilities that seemed nothing short of miraculous to Zara. There was telepathic chess, played on 100 boards simultaneously, and the gravity gauntlet, where contestants navigated an obstacle course of wildly fluctuating gravitational fields. As the day wore on, Zara began to feel a creeping sense of inadequacy. How could humanity hope to compete on this cosmic stage? Her moment of doubt was interrupted by an announcement that sent a ripple of excitement through the crowd. Next up, the Endurance Odyssey. Contestants will be subjected to a series of grueling physical and mental challenges designed to push the limits of their species' capabilities. Zara's ears perked up. Endurance. This was something she understood. "Zara of Earth," Dean Zorix's voice boomed. "As the sole human representative, you are invited to participate in this event. Do you accept the challenge?" A hush fell over the arena. Zara felt the weight of 1,000 alien stares upon her. She thought of Earth, of the indomitable human spirit that had carried her species from caves to the stars. She stood, her voice ringing out clear and strong. "I accept." The crowd erupted in a cacophony of alien cheers and jeers. Zara made her way down to the arena floor, her heart pounding but her resolve firm. The Endurance Odyssey turned out to be a nightmare made reality. Zara found herself running through shifting landscapes that morphed from scorching deserts to freezing tundras in the blink of an eye. She scaled mountains that grew beneath her feet, swam through oceans of liquid mercury, and solved complex mathematical equations while dodging psychic attacks from her alien competitors. Hours passed, and one by one, the other contestants fell away. Zara's muscles screamed in protest, her lungs burned, and her mind teetered on the edge of exhaustion. But she pressed on, drawing on the same indomitable will that had driven humans to climb Everest, cross the Sahara, and venture into the cold depths of space. As she staggered across what she hoped was the final stretch, Zara became aware of a sound growing in the background. It started as a low rumble, but swelled into a deafening roar. The alien crowd was on its feet, cheering for her. With one final burst of effort, Zara crossed the finish line and collapsed. Through blurry vision, she saw the holographic display above. Zara Chen, Earth. Strong arms lifted her, and she found herself surrounded by a sea of alien faces, all beaming with admiration. Crix's joyous trills mixed with the deep, resonant congratulations of beings Zara had never seen before. "Remarkable," Dean Zorix's voice cut through the commotion, the energy being floated down to the arena floor, its form pulsing with what Zara interpreted as excitement. "In all my cycles, I have never seen such a display of sheer determination. You have done your species proud, Zara of Earth." As the crowd's cheers washed over her, Zara felt a profound shift in the atmosphere. The earlier hostility and skepticism had been replaced by genuine respect and curiosity. Aliens of all shapes and sizes pressed forward, eager to speak with her to understand the source of her incredible endurance. Even Lyra, the cosmic physics student, approached with newfound admiration in her starry eyes. "I may have underestimated your species, Zara. Perhaps there's more to humans than meets the eye." As Zara basked in the afterglow of her victory, she caught sight of a familiar reptilian form slinking away from the arena. Zexkar's eyes met hers for a brief moment, burning with a mixture of rage and fear. The encounter left Zara with an uneasy feeling, a sense that her triumph today had far-reaching consequences she couldn't yet fathom. Later that night, as Zara rested in the Academy's advanced medical bay, allowing alien healing technology to soothe her battered body, she reflected on the day's events. She had proven that humanity could hold its own along the stars, but at what cost? And what new challenges awaited her in the days to come? Little did she know that her victory in the intergalactic sports tournament had set in motion a chain of events that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. In distant star systems, ancient powers stirred, awakened by the emergence of a species long foretold in prophecies older than some civilizations. As Zara drifted off to sleep, lulled by the soft hum of alien medical equipment, the stars outside her window seemed to pulse with an urgent message. Humanity's trial by fire was just beginning, and Zara Chen, the unassuming student from Earth, was about to find herself at the center of a cosmic storm that had been brewing for eons. The Galactic Academy, and indeed the entire universe, would never be the same again. A cosmic conspiracy unfolds. The days following Zara's triumph in the intergalactic sports tournament were a whirlwind of academic challenges and newfound celebrity. Alien students who had once given her a wide berth now sought her out, eager to learn more about the species capable of such extraordinary endurance. But as Zara navigated her classes and social interactions, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. Whispered conversations would halt abruptly when she approached, and she often caught glimpses of furtive glances cast in her direction. One evening, as she made her way back to her dormitory after a grueling xenophysics lecture, Zara found herself pulled into a shadowy alcove. Her heart raced, ready to defend herself, but she relaxed when she recognized Crix's iridescent feathers. "Apologies for the clandestine nature of this meeting, friend Zara," Crix whispered, his usually melodious voice tight with tension. "But I fear we are no longer safe conversing openly." Zara's brow furrowed. "What do you mean? What's going on, Crix?" The avian being's feathers rustled nervously. "Your performance in the tournament has unsettled certain factions within the Academy. There are whispers of ancient prophecies of a species that would upset the balance of power in the galaxy. And they think that's us? Humans?" Zara asked incredulously. Crix nodded sullenly. "It is not just your physical prowess that has caught their attention, but the adaptability and innovative thinking your species has displayed. Some see this as a threat to the established order." Before Zara could respond, a soft chime emanated from Crix's communication device. The avian's eyes widened as he read the message. "We must go. Now. Professor Xylith has requested our presence in the restricted archives." As they hurried through the winding corridors of the Academy, Zara's mind raced. Prophecies, threats to the galactic order. It all seemed so far removed from her original goal of simply proving humanity's worth among the stars. They arrived at an unmarked door deep in the bowels of the Academy. Professor Xylith's gaseous form swirled agitatedly as they entered. "Ah, good, you're here. We haven't much time." The room was filled with ancient-looking artifacts and holographic displays showing star charts and complex equations. Zara gasped as she recognized another figure in the room, Lyra, the cosmic physics student she had met at the tournament. "I suppose introductions are in order," Lyra purred, her starry fur rippling. "I'm not just a student, Zara. I'm part of an ancient order tasked with safeguarding the balance of the cosmos." Professor Xylith's form pulsed urgently. "The trials of ascension are not merely academic tests, Zara. They are a cosmic filter designed to identify species with the potential to shape the future of the galaxy." Zara's head spun. But why all the secrecy? Why not just tell us this from the beginning? Because, a new voice interjected, not everyone believes your species is ready for such power. From the shadows emerged a familiar reptilian form. Zara tensed, ready for confrontation, but Zexkar held up his clawed hands in a gesture of peace. My earlier hostility was a ruse, Zexkar explained, his forked tongue flicking nervously. I am part of a faction that believes humanity's potential could bring about a new golden age for the galaxy. But there are others who fear change, who would rather see your species eliminated. The gravity of the situation hit Zara like a physical blow. So what do we do now? Professor Xylith's gaseous tendrils reached out, manipulating a holographic display. A complex star map appeared, with a pulsing red dot at its center. This, the professor said, is the location of an ancient artifact known as the Cosmic Nexus. Legend says it has the power to accelerate a species' evolution, to unlock latent potential on a galactic scale. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes shimmering with starlight. We believe this is why humanity has progressed so rapidly. Eons ago, a fragment of the Nexus may have found its way to Earth, subtly influencing your development. But now, Crix added, forces are aligning to prevent humanity from claiming its place among the cosmic powers. They seek to destroy the Nexus, and with it, Earth's potential. Zora's mind reeled. The fate of her entire species rested on her shoulders. What can I do? I'm just a student, not some chosen one. Zexkar's scales rippled with what might have been amusement. That's where you're wrong, Zora of Earth. Your victory in the tournament was no accident. You've proven that humans have the strength, adaptability, and spirit to face what lies ahead. Professor Xylith's form pulsed with urgency. The final trial of ascension approaches. It will be a test unlike any you've faced before. If you succeed, you will secure humanity's place among the stars. If you fail, the unspoken consequences hung heavy in the air. Zora squared her shoulders, feeling the weight of her species' future settling upon them. What do I need to do? The conspirators exchanged glances before Lyra spoke. First, we need to get you off-world without arousing suspicion. There's an artifact we need to retrieve, a key to unlocking the Cosmic Nexus. And we're not the only ones after it, Zexkar added grimly. Prepare yourself, Zara Chen. You're about to embark on a journey that will take you to the farthest reaches of the galaxy and the very limits of your human potential. As the gravity of the situation sank in, Zara felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. This was far beyond anything she had imagined when she first arrived at the Galactic Academy. But as she looked at the determined faces of her alien allies, she knew she wasn't alone. When do we start? She asked, her voice steady with resolve. Professor Xylith's gaseous form swirled with what Zara now recognized as approval. Immediately, the fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hangs in the balance. As they began to outline their daring plan, alarms suddenly blared throughout the academy. A booming voice echoed through the halls. Security breach in the restricted archives. All students returned to their dormitories immediately. The conspirators exchanged alarmed glances. Their secret meeting had been discovered. It seems, Zexkar hissed, that our journey begins now, whether we're ready or not. With the sound of rapidly approaching footsteps echoing in the corridor outside, Zara and her unlikely allies prepared to make their escape. The greatest adventure of her life, and the ultimate test of humanity's place in the cosmos, was about to begin. As they raced towards an unknown future, Zara couldn't help but think of the billions of humans back on Earth, blissfully unaware that their fate now rested in her hands. She silently vowed not to let them down. The stars beckoned, promising both peril and possibility. Humanity's trial by fire had begun in earnest. Humanity's stand against the odds. The corridors of the Galactic Academy erupted into chaos as Zara and her unlikely band of allies raced through the twisting passageways. Alarms blared, and the pounding of security forces echoed behind them. This way, Lyra called out, her starry fur shimmering as she led them down a hidden passage. The walls seemed to melt away at her touch, revealing a sleek, hidden hangar. Zara's jaw dropped as she laid eyes on the ship before them. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, a seamless blend of organic curves and advanced technology that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The Stellar Whisper, Zexkar announced with a hint of pride. Fastest ship in 3 galaxies. Now, let's hope I remember how to fly this thing. As they scrambled aboard, the hangar doors began to close. Professor Xylus' gaseous form swirled anxiously. I must remain behind to misdirect the authorities. Remember, Zara, the fate of humanity rests on your success. Trust in yourself and in the strength of your species. Before Zara could respond, the professor had vanished, seeping through a microscopic crack in the wall. There was no time for goodbyes as the ship's engines roared to life. Hold on to something. Crix trilled as Zexkar engaged the launch sequence. The Stellar Whisper shot out of the hangar like a bolt of lightning, effortlessly weaving through the Academy's defensive grid. As they broke atmosphere, Zara caught a final glimpse of the majestic spires of the Galactic Academy, now swarming with security vessels. Plot a course for the outer rim, Lyra instructed, her paws dancing over a holographic interface. We need to lose any pursuit before we can begin our search for the artifact. As the stars blurred into streaks of light around them, Zara felt a moment of vertigo. She was leaving behind everything she knew, embarking on a journey that would determine the fate of her entire species. So, she ventured, trying to keep her voice steady, does anyone want to fill me in on exactly what this artifact is and why it's so important? Crix's feathers ruffled as he pulled up a holographic display. The artifact we seek is known as the Cosmic Keystone. Legend has it that it's a fragment of the original cosmic nexus, imbued with the power to unlock a species' true potential. But it's not just about power, Lyra added, her eyes glimmering. The keystone is said to grant insight into the fundamental nature of the universe itself. In the wrong hands, it could be used to dominate entire galaxies. Zexkar's scales rippled with tension, and there are those who believe that humanity is too young, too volatile to be trusted with such knowledge. They fear that your species' rapid advancement is a threat to the established cosmic order. Zara's mind reeled, but that's not fair. We've only just begun to explore beyond our own solar system. How can we be a threat? That's precisely what makes you dangerous in their eyes, Lyra explained. Your species has achieved in centuries what took others millennia. Your potential is unprecedented. A sudden jolt rocked the ship, cutting off further conversation. Zexkar's clawed hands flew over the controls. We've got company. Looks like the Academy sent their best after us. Through the viewscreen, Zara saw sleek, predatory ships closing in fast. Energy weapons lanced out, barely missing the Stellar Whisper's hull. Evasive maneuvers. Crix screeched, his wings spread wide as he clung to his seat. What followed was a harrowing chase through an asteroid field that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Zara watched in awe as Zexkar piloted the ship with inhuman precision, weaving through gaps that seemed impossibly small. I need more power to the temporal shields, the reptilian called out. Zara, there's a panel to your left. I need you to reroute energy from the secondary systems. Zara's hands hovered uncertainly over the alien controls. This was well beyond anything she had learned at the Academy. But as another blast rocked the ship, she felt something click in her mind. Somehow, she knew exactly what to do. Her fingers flew over the holographic interface, redirecting power flows and optimizing systems in ways she didn't fully understand, but instinctively knew were right. The ship surged forward, its shields shimmering with newfound strength. Impossible, Lyra breathed, staring at Zara with wide eyes. You shouldn't be able to interface with our technology like that. Unless... Another blast cut off her speculation. But in that moment of crisis, something extraordinary happened. Zara felt a connection, not just to the ship, but to the very fabric of space around them. Time seemed to slow as her consciousness expanded. "There," she shouted, pointing to a seemingly empty patch of space. "A temporal rift. If we can reach it, we can lose them." Without hesitation, Zexkar steered the ship toward the coordinates Zara indicated. As they approached, reality itself seemed to ripple. The pursuing ships fired desperately, but it was too late. The stellar whisper plunged into the rift, and the universe turned inside out. When reality reasserted itself, they found themselves in a part of space none of them recognized. The pursuers were gone, but so was any familiar point of reference. As the adrenaline of the chase faded, Zara became aware of her companions, staring at her in awe and confusion. "How did you do that?" Crix asked, his voice filled with wonder. "How did you know about the rift?" Zara shook her head, feeling suddenly dizzy. I don't know. It was like I could see the patterns in space-time itself, like the universe was speaking to me." Lyra's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. The prophecies spoke of this, a species that could bridge the gap between the physical and the cosmic. "Zara, I think you've just demonstrated why some fear humanity's potential so much." As the implications of what had just happened sank in, a new alert shined on the ship's console. Zexkar's eyes widened as he read the display. "It seems your little trick did more than just save us," he said, turning to Zara with a mix of respect and unease. "We've traveled farther than should be possible, and if these readings are correct, we're on the doorstep of the cosmic keystone itself." The weight of destiny settled on Zara's shoulders. Whatever power had awakened within her, whatever cosmic role humanity was destined to play, the next steps of their journey would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of the entire galaxy. As the stellar whisper drifted in unknown space, its crew looked to Zara, no longer just a student, but a beacon of humanity's untapped potential. The true test was about to begin. Triumph of the human spirit. The stellar whisper drifted in the vastness of uncharted space, its occupants still reeling from the implications of Zara's newfound abilities. Through the viewscreen, a massive, swirling nebula painted the cosmos in hues of purple and gold, hiding untold wonders and dangers within its cosmic veil. "The veiled expanse," Lyra breathed, her starry fur rippling with excitement. Ancient texts speak of the cosmic keystone being hidden at its heart, but no ship has ever successfully navigated its treacherous currents. Zexkar's clawed hands hovered over the controls. The gravimetric distortions alone would tear a normal vessel apart. Even the stellar whisper wasn't designed for this. Zara stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the swirling chaos before them. The connection she had felt earlier thrummed within her, like a tuning fork resonating with the fabric of the universe itself. "I can guide us through," she said, her voice filled with a confidence she didn't entirely feel. "I can see the paths, the eddies in space-time." Her alien companions exchanged glances, a mix of hope and trepidation in their eyes. Finally, Crix spoke, his feathers ruffling with determination. "We've come too far to turn back now. If Zara believes she can do it, I say we trust in her abilities." With a nod from Zexkar, Zara placed her hands on the ship's neural interface. The moment her skin made contact, her consciousness expanded, merging with the ship and the space around them. She could see every gravitational eddy, every fold in the fabric of reality. "Hold on," she murmured, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "This might get a little bumpy." The stellar whisper plunged into the nebula, dancing through impossible geometries and narrowly avoiding cosmic strings that could slice the ship in two. Zara's hands moved with inhuman speed and precision, guiding them through a maze that defied conventional physics. Hours passed in a blur of tense silence, broken only by the occasional gasp or exclamation as they narrowly avoided disaster. Finally, as they emerged from a particularly dense cluster of gravimetric anomalies, a sight of breathtaking beauty and terror filled the viewscreen. At the heart of the veiled expanse floated a massive structure that seemed to be made of pure energy and impossible angles. It pulsed with a rhythm that resonated with something deep within Zara's very being. The Nexus, Lyra whispered in awe. We actually found it. But their moment of triumph was short-lived. Alarms blared as multiple ships suddenly decloaked around them, their weapons trained on the stellar whisper. A familiar voice crackled over the comm system. Well done, Zara Chen. You've led us straight to the prize. Zara's blood ran cold as she recognized the speaker. Dean Zorix? But why? The energy being's laughter filled the ship. Did you really think we'd let a primitive species like yours claim the power of the Nexus? You've played your part beautifully, unlocking the path that has eluded us for eons. Now stand down and prepare to be boarded. Zexkar's scales flushed with anger. We can't let them take the keystone. The fate of the entire galaxy hangs in the balance. As their enemies closed in, Zara felt a moment of crushing despair. Had she led her friends into a trap? Had she doomed humanity's future? But then something extraordinary happened. The Nexus pulsed, and Zara felt a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever experienced. In that moment, she understood. The prophecies, she gasped. They weren't about humanity claiming the power of the Nexus. They were about us becoming the bridge. With newfound clarity, Zara reached out, not just with her hands, but with her mind and spirit. She felt the essence of her human heritage, the indomitable will, the capacity for love and sacrifice, the drive to explore and understand, merged with the cosmic energies swirling around them. The stellar whisper began to glow, suffused with the same energy that emanated from the Nexus. Zara turned to her friends, her eyes shimmering with power and purpose. I understand now, she said, her voice resonating with newfound wisdom. Humanity's role isn't to wield the power of the cosmos. It's to help bring balance, to be the mediators between the physical and the divine. As Dean Zorix's ships opened fire, Zara stretched out her consciousness. The blasts froze in mid-space, harmlessly dissipating into sparks of light. Enough, Zara's voice boomed, carried across the vastness of space by the power of the Nexus itself. The time of secrets and fear is over. The cosmos calls for unity, for understanding. With a gesture, she opened a channel to every ship, every world within reach of the Nexus. People of the galaxy, hear me. We stand at a crossroads. We can choose fear and division, or we can embrace a future of cooperation and shared wisdom. Images flowed from her mind, broadcasting visions of Earth's history, its triumphs and failures, its capacity for both destruction and creation. Humanity is young, yes, but we bring a unique perspective. We've faced our demons, we've teetered on the brink of self-destruction, but we've also reached for the stars with hope and determination. The energy of the Nexus swirled around the stellar whisper, and for a moment, every being in the galaxy felt connected, united in a vision of a future where diversity was celebrated and the wonders of the cosmos were explored together. Dean Zorix's ships powered down their weapons, and a hush fell over the cosmic battlefield. The power was never meant to be hoarded or controlled, Zara continued, her voice filled with compassion. It's meant to be shared, to elevate all sentient beings. Earth doesn't seek to conquer the stars, but to join you among them, to learn and grow together. As the energy subsided, Zara felt the connection to the Nexus gently fade. She had done what needed to be done. The choice now lay with the gathered representatives of the galaxy. In the days that followed, as news of the events at the Veiled Expanse spread, a new era dawned. The Galactic Academy was reformed, with Earth granted full membership. Zara found herself at the center of a new initiative to foster understanding between species, using humanity's unique perspective to bridge gaps and solve cosmic-scale problems. As she stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Nexus station, watching ships from 1,000 worlds come together in peace, Zara reflected on the journey that had brought her here. From a wide-eyed student to a cosmic mediator, she had discovered that humanity's greatest strength lay not in power, but in its capacity for empathy, adaptation, and hope. The stars stretched out before her, no longer distant and unreachable, but a promise of adventures yet to come. Humanity had taken its place among the cosmic community, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might present, together. As Zara turned to join her friends, Crix, Lyra, and even the reformed Zexikar, for a celebration of their shared triumph, she couldn't help but smile. The greatest journey, she realized, was just beginning. The human spirit, tested by fire and tempered by the cosmos itself, had proven equal to the greatest trial imaginable, and in doing so, it had changed the fate of the galaxy forever.